Day trading will wipe out your deposit faster than you think. And here's why. Most traders doubt their knowledge and look for multiplier confirmation of their trade in various ways. You want to be sure that your idea is not a mistake, but you lose profitable entry points and miss proven setups that you just need to find and press the buy or sell button. I'm going to tell you about one pattern with amazing statistics, and you make sure you understand everything correctly and stop doubting yourself. As Bruce Lee would say, if he were a trader, I'm not afraid of the man who has studied 10,000 strategies. I'm afraid of the man who studied one strategy but 10,000 times. Let me show you without any cheat indicators how my strategy looks like, which we are going to use today. Here we obviously have two zones of interest, and the first task you have to face is to identify the key zones of interest. You can do it very easily with the help of this indicator. You can add it from the indicator panel, write its name, support and resistance from the ChartPrime author. But the idea is simple enough. You can draw some primary basic zones of interest and see how the chart interacts with these zones of interest. The next we will use two time frames, a senior and a junior one. In my case, the senior time frame is 5 minutes. Now I see that my chart has approached the upper boundary, which acts as my zone of interest. I do a very simple action. I switch to a lower time frame and look for reasons why the chart should turn around or push away from this zone. The easiest way to do this is to use a trend line. You can turn on the linear chart type to make the trend line more accurate. Here I would accordingly already enter the trade after this breakout and a retest. Where can we have a stop? I put the stop loss either behind the high or a little further away, and accordingly the take can be placed on the update of any minimum. I will use one more cheat tool. It is an automatic indicator of the imbalance zone, and it shows me where it is easier and more correct to set my take profit limit. So we get the new trade, which is easily closed, and now we wait until the chart comes to the lower boundary, which we have marked. So here the chart has approached the lower boundary, and here again we need a trend line to draw it. Let's assume that this is how we will draw the trend line. Let's see how the chart reacts. So we have a breakdown of this trend line, and right now we are testing this trend line. Accordingly, somewhere here I also put the entry point. Here on the imbalance zone I put the take profit, and I move the stop loss so that my trade will be safe enough. Don't forget that there can be squeezes. Of course, this doesn't always mean that your stop loss should be so long, but I consider this risk profit ratio of 1.89 to be as adequate as possible. Let's take a look at the trade and see how it closes. So in general, as you can see, the price after a while also reached the take profit. Before we move on to the analysis of real trades on this strategy, I would like to tell you that all the trades you see in this video, you can automatically copy them using my broker's copy trading. To do this, you need to go to this channel using the link from the description and send me a message with the keyword copy trading. In my channel you can also find data from the accounts where these trades are made. So you can take a look, stop by if you are really interested. So let us now move on to the trade. With the help of our indicator, we automatically see the upper zone of interest to which our chart is moving right now. I suggest switching from the senior time frame to the junior time frame. That's my next action. But before that, let me I forget to highlight this area, so that is not lost. Here we have a resistance area, here we have a support area, and here we have a level behind which have accumulated a lot of stops. So I highlighted just in the case I have to trade up to this level. What do we see here? We can draw a trend line, let's say through these two tops, and see how the price will behave. Here we see a breakout and a retest. I will use a tool to open a short position. The goal I propose, of course, to overtake the level that I highlighted earlier, and stop loss I can adjust depending on the ratio of risk and profit. My one very important advice for beginners: do not chase higher ratios like 2, 3, 4 and so on. The smaller stop loss, the more likely you will catch it. So here I can confidently put a trade with about this ratio. It is important that my stop will be above the previous local maximum, and here these conditions are met, so let's take a look at the trade. Well, look, that's how we have the realization of the downward movement in just a couple of hours. I would say it looks very beautiful and successful. On the first trade I earned 672 with a risk of 50%, it means 500. This is an acceleration of the deposit from 1000 to 3000 as part of my copy trading, which you can also join. And now I propose to go to the review of the second trade. Time frame equals 15 minutes. I have defined the key area at the top and the key area at the bottom. So let's see how the chart behaves. The most important thing is to touch the zone of interest, and now we are touching the zone of interest. I switch to the 5-minute time frame in order to determine the possible reasons for the stock market's reversal. But here we can simply draw trend lines, such as this line at the top and let's say this line at the bottom. It already looks like a fallen wedge in its structure, so our task is to watch the upper line as closely as possible, whether we will have a breakout or a retest. So as we can see, we have a breakout. The indicator indicates us an additional area, which can also act as a zone of interest for us. I will also note it here, and we will wait for either a test of this area, as it is happening now, or a test of the broken trend line. In general, we can already enter a trade on the upside right now. In order not to be confused where to put the take profit, I will turn on the imbalance indicator and realize that, for example, my take profit can be here. I am completely satisfied with the risk-profit ratio and my stop is where it should be. So let's see how the small trade works out. So as you can see, we reached the take profit quite close. In the real trade 64,842, I had my take profit just somewhere at the same level. Thus, in one trading session with a balance of 1000, I managed to make 3000. These trades could be copied by you absolutely automatically. For this, I remind you, write to me in a private message keyword copy trading. My friends, I have told you today the very basic fundamentals of my almost daily strategy that I use very often. This strategy consists of only the most important things, so if you approach it wisely, you can start making money today. Thank you for watching this video. Bye everyone.